Today on ELN Morning.
Town taxes. Funding challenges the town of Elon faces because of the university's tax status.
Kind of like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, honestly.
The Sweet Life. Why one hotel just off campus is going from overnight guests to permanently housing students.
And National Volunteer Month. We check in with COVID-19 testing volunteers as on-campus testing slows.
Today, April 29th.
This is a special edition of ELN Morning, live from Lake Marynell. Well, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us live out here at Lake Marynell for ELN Morning. I'm Baylor Rodman.
And I'm Ellis Chandler. New this morning, Elon University is expecting to receive more doses of the coronavirus vaccine next week. Medical Director Dr. Jeanette Archinal tells Elon News Network the final details, including the type of vaccine, are still being worked out. Earlier this month, Elon distributed 2,500 doses of the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Meanwhile, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper announced Wednesday that the state's outdoor mask mandate will be lifted tomorrow. This comes after the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced all vaccinated individuals do not need to wear a mask when outdoors by yourself or with people from your household. But Elon University officials say they are still considering if they will accept this change in guidance. This comes as roughly over 60% of the undergraduate students have reported receiving either their second dose of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine or first shot of the Johnson & Johnson. Dr. Archinal says it's important the school consider all sides when lifting an outdoor mask mandate on a college campus.
If you actually look at what was really said, also depends on whether you're vaccinated or not. It wasn't just a blanket, everybody go hug a stranger outdoors unvaccinated. That was not the CDC guideline. And I think people misunderstood what was said.
And Elon students are reacting to the new guidance. Some say they don't understand why you should have to wear a mask when outdoors.
I already kind of don't wear a mask when I'm outside in a small group. Just like if I'm walking to McEwen, I don't really feel the need to wear a mask, so it doesn't really change anything for me.
Going in for weekly COVID tests, seeing that the numbers aren't really surpassing 10, I don't really see the need for masks outside. Still indoors, of course, but outside with most of us vaccinated now, I really don't see the need.
I feel like Elon doesn't know what it's like to be a student here living on campus, and especially as a first year here, my experience was extremely affected. And I know that I've been vigilant and students on campus have been vigilant.
For most cities, property tax is the largest source of revenue and a source to lean on during the pandemic. But for college towns, the tax-exempt status of universities limits the amount of property taxes the town collects. Our Mackenzie Wilkes has the story.
From roads to police dispatches, local taxes pay for town services. But because of the tax-exempt status of entities like Elon University and Twin Lakes Retirement Community, a majority of the town's revenue comes from sales tax.
There's pros and cons with the higher reliance on sales tax. If your economy goes down, sales go down, you can be in a crunch. Whereas with property tax, that's pretty consistent year to year.
Vice President for Strategic Initiatives and Liaison to the town, Jeff Stein, says that although the university is exempt from property taxes, it still recognizes that it uses the services the town provides.
Just because we're tax-free or tax-exempt and a nonprofit, we don't use the town's water, right? Or we don't engage with the police or fire. So that's why the university is very proactive, let's say.
The university recently proposed yearly contributions to the police, fire, and the town for the next decade. These amounts would increase 2% each year. But as the university continues to expand, Alderman Mossy Allison says he would like the university to recognize that the need for town services will only grow.
They depend on us to provide water and sewer and other services. So when we look at that, we realize, how do we cover that? Concerns us, I guess, as the university continues to grow and acquire property, that only further reduces our tax base.
One example is the need for a new water line to supply Elon's new innovation quad. According to town manager Richard Rodner, the cost is about $3 million, a total equal to the sales tax revenue the town generated in 2019.
So when that has happened in the past, we've talked with the university, we've sat down and said, whether it's a sidewalk or whether it's a water line or whatever it is, it looks like the situation may be such that you're benefiting from this as well, and would you be willing to participate?
Mackenzie Wilkes, ELN Morning.
The town is currently discussing with the university how they could share that cost. Stein says new leadership at both the university and town has led to a strengthening in communication.
Big economic news for North Carolina this week as Apple announced its plans to build its East Coast headquarters here in Raleigh. The $1.5 billion investment is expected to bring over 3,000 jobs to the state. Chair of Elon's Computer Science Department, Duke Hutchings, says the news brings new opportunities to his students.
The fact that the bulk of those jobs are going to be in the areas of data mining, machine learning, artificial intelligence, software engineering, all topics that we teach at Elon, is really exciting news.
Hutchings says he's looking forward to building connections with Apple, adding excitement about the possibilities ahead has already made its way inside the classroom.
A number of students saw some opportunity there and maybe solidified some ideas that the students had about continuing in the major, continuing in the minor, continuing to develop their knowledge of computer science and some specific skills within computer science to be competitive for that type of work.
Associate Director of Corporate and Employer Relations in the School of Business, Brooke Buffington, says while it's a bit too early to start making predictions about how much Apple's presence will impact Elon's students, it's currently a registered company on the Elon Job Network. 23 alums work for the company now, and Apple has done some recruiting on Elon's campus in the past. And women's soccer lost yesterday to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, 1-0 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. This means that their season is over. After ending the first half tied 0-0, the Phoenix just couldn't quite answer back after Milwaukee scored in the second half. That put them down by 1, resulting in a final score of 1-0 Milwaukee.
The sun is starting to peek out behind the clouds. I'll let you know if it's going to stay out after the break.
The Acorn Inn is going to continue renting out suites to students to live in next year. The inn started offering long-term leases last fall after seeing a decrease in overnight guests and increase of students on campus due to the coronavirus pandemic. Manager Mike Brown says it's beneficial for the hotel to continue taking both types of tenants.
We're glad to serve. We're glad to be here and show hospitality, Southern hospitality to all the visitors.
Elon Jr. Caroline Seelman lived at the inn last fall. She says it's a good last resort for people who need a place to live.
It was definitely kind of isolating in a way, just because it was in such like a weird part of campus, on the outskirts, and not many people we knew lived over there. It was just like living in a hotel, kind of like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, honestly.
Brown says the inn will continue long-term leases until at least May of 2022. Anyone interested in renting a room can go to the inn's website, acorninnelon.com, and click on long-term leasing.
The Academic Council has a new leader. Associate Professor of Political Science and Policy Studies Jason Husser will be the chair of Elon's Academic Council for the next 3 years. The council represents and discusses issues pertaining to Elon University's faculty. Husser says one of his goals is including more diverse faculty members on the council, as last year's was, quote, too white.
Part of the goal for me is reaching out to minority faculty members and saying, I want you to be a part of this. We need you, not necessarily that they need us, and oftentimes they are asked to do lots of things on campus, and so I'm hoping that we'll be able to persuade or convince.
Husser is a member of the Academic Council, even serving as its representative on the Ready and Resilient Committee. Well, Baylor, the clouds are parting, the sun is shining. We've seen the ducks behind us. They look so happy out here today.
They look so happy waddling around out there. The wind has died down just a bit, but now for the weather for the rest of the day ahead and in the next few days ahead, our Courtney Weiner came over to Lake Marianelle with us. Courtney, good morning to you.
Good morning, Baylor and Ellis. Yeah, those ducks have it easy. They don't have the wind that we've been dealing with.
this morning, but it's a little chilly in the shade. We are seeing the sun come out now, and we will see a high of 86 today, and so the sun should be out more as the day goes on. There's a possibility of a UV index of 9, so wear your sunscreen if you're going to sit out in the sun. Looking to the next 5 days, tomorrow and Saturday, we'll see the sun again, high of 75 and a high of 72 Friday and Saturday. Sunday will warm up a little bit, a high of 82, a low of 62. Monday we might see some scattered thunderstorms, but with a high of 84 and a low of 68. And Tuesday the sun should come back out with partly cloudy skies for a high of 87 and a low of 66. So the weather is a little bit weird in the next few days, up and down, but the wind surely is no joke this morning. So hold on to your hats if you're walking around campus. I'm Courtney Weiner. That's it for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Back to you guys.
Courtney Weiner, thank you so much. Coming up, campus COVID-19 testing volunteers talk on their experiences during this National Volunteer Month. ELN Morning returns in 60 seconds.
Senior Internal Auditor Kimberly Franklin doesn't normally interact with students, but as a COVID-19 testing volunteer, she sees students every Monday.
So it's really just, we're here for hours at a time, especially early on when students weren't used to being tested frequently. It was kind of like, Monday morning, why are we here?
Franklin is one of 150 faculty and staff volunteers at the Alumni Gym testing site. Ready and Resilient Chair Jeff Stein says seeing new and familiar faces at testing allows students to connect.
Most students tell me they go to the same person every single week, which tells me that there is some sort of comfort in a friendly face and reliability of what that connection or relationship is, even though it's just a few moments.
But as more students get vaccinated, COVID-19 testing is decreasing.
We'll still have plenty of students, faculty, and staff who are not exempt because they haven't gotten the vaccine yet or aren't 2 weeks past their dosage.
Stein said he thinks there will be an arrival test similar to the fall and spring semesters, and the university is currently looking into how long vaccine immunity can last. Kira O'Connor, ELN Morning.
To read more, pick up a copy of this week's Pendulum.
Well, that's all the news we have for you today. Thanks so much for joining us.
For all the news you need to know when we're not on the air, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, and follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Thanks for joining us today, and be sure to tune in next week for our final broadcast of the semester.
Have a great day, Elon.